it becomes geriatric pregnancy. And I'm going to start calling it geriatric pregnancy. That's what the OBGYN and gynecologists call post 35-year-old pregnancies, geriatric. So you got geriatric eggs, ladies. And here's the thing.
What is up, lads? I am glad to see you guys, or well, have you guys hear me and see your comments, but good to be back. And remember, if you want to skip me yapping, just use the timestamps. But that said, today we are doing our usual routine, reacting to some good old Godfather, Kevin Samuels. You already know the vibes. Check his channel out, all that fun stuff. You know who he is. But today, I wanted to go over something that was a little bit more tame, but still more so on the informational side, especially when it comes to pregnancy, as you saw kind of in the preview. You know, Kevin Samuels will go into that, and he just gives some nice little reality checks. I love to see. So I'll save most of my thoughts for the end. Maybe we'll have them in the middle, but remember, just use timestamps to skip it.
What video of mine do you have an issue with?
I saw a video recently. I don't have an issue with you a whole or general, but the one issue that I had was in your video. I believe it was titled, "Is B good enough?"
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that I kind of had issue with, because I do realize people need tough talk and real talk, and I feel like people sometimes need a dose of reality. But I just had a little disagreement when you mentioned that once you turn 30, you drop from a 10 to a 9, or when you turn 40, you drop from, I guess a 9 to an 8, because I believe sometimes with beauty being subjective, and if you're 30, there'll be a 50-year-old man, because I don't think
okay. So I want to get to a point though.
Mm-hmm.
What's the issue?
Issue that I have is I believe that certain things are subjective. Age and beauty, for instance, you know, I'm not
okay.
delusional about
where but okay. So how old are you?
I'm 36. I just turned 36 a week and a half ago.
So no disrespect. Are you married or single?
I'm engaged.
Okay.
I was married before though, very young.
You what?
I was married before very young, so I feel like I lived a whole life.
Okay, early. But my point is, men get to choose. Mm-hmm. Men say that your value drops the older you get, and just because we can find, I don't understand why you ladies do this. You'll take something that you know is generally broadly true, and want to have a disagreement based on the fact that you can find somebody somewhere who might accept it. Why does that make sense?
Like I said, I don't disagree with the majority of what you say. I'm just saying from my experience and just the message you're putting out, because you for yourself, or you said 50, I don't think that puts your value, because I think your age adds value.
Okay, ma'am, I'm telling you what, okay. I'm telling women what men think. I'm not saying what I think. This is not a Kevin. Have you heard of something called The Wall?
I've heard of the album The Wall, but
The Wall, yeah, The Wall. The Wall when it comes to mating and dating. The Wall is a point to where a woman's value stops and starts to go the other way. What age does The Wall appear in? What age do most men put The Wall at in a female?
Personally believe in general it's the 20s, but that just hasn't been my experience.
Okay, ma'am, no disrespect, but this is not about your experience. You are one woman and you're not dating them. You need to turn down your volume a little bit because we're getting feedback. Your speaker's too loud.
Okay, I'll do that. There we go.
The Wall. Two things. One, high-risk pregnancy generally starts for women at age 35. Regardless as to anything, that's just the nature of the beast. It becomes geriatric pregnancy, and I'm going to start calling it geriatric pregnancy. That's what the OBGYN and gynecologists call post 35-year-old pregnancies, geriatric. So you got geriatric eggs, ladies. And here's the thing.
So remember, use the timestamps to skip me talking, but I did want to give my thoughts on this really briefly. And also remember to subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff so we can all discuss this. But this is so true. And I've seen so many women, and because I've lived in a lot of different countries, and I'm from the US originally. And I've seen a lot of women in the U.S., Western world, really, who are just in pure denial of it. I mean, they try to cite these niche studies and so on, these one-off things, but there's no denying it. Geriatric pregnancy is a real thing. I can tell you this because my mom was pregnant with me. She was 34 and she was 35 by the time she had me. And the doctors told her, like, hey, look, this is a really risky thing. Like, your kid, may not make it. You may not make it, because 35 is a really long time to wait to have a kid. And, thankfully, I don't think I had anything that, too crazy that came out with me. My mind works and all that. But, that kind of stuff is risky. Like, that's where a lot of these birth defects and things like that, and, miscarriages and stuff like that happen, is, from these women who are kind of just past the point of where they should have just had kids earlier. Like, this is part of that societal conditioning of, women can do no wrong. They're perfect little angels, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Just glazing women all the time, 25-8, women this, women that. But the thing is, you can't deny biology. You can't deny reality. You can't sit here and say, no, I can have a kid whenever I want, even though you're 42 or you're 52. I mean, like, yeah, sure, there's been some people, a few, who have had relatively successful pregnancies, we'll call it, at late ages, at geriatric pregnancy ages. But it's so rare and it's so not recommended, because you don't want to cause unnecessary risk to your possible child. You don't want to cause unnecessary risk to yourself if you're the, woman giving birth. Like, there's just so many factors that go into it that these modern women, they have a common trend of just being incapable of thinking long term. I mean, they cannot think outside of this instance, this day. If something can't happen right this second the way they want it to, they don't want it to happen at all. God forbid they wait a couple weeks. God forbid they do something for a couple months and have to wait. God forbid they go to the gym and lose weight. It's just this world where they just get sold a fantasy, and it's BS.
Men universally say, when a woman passes 30, her value drops. Why do women celebrate 29 birthdays? Because they don't want to cross into 30. Because whether you experience this or not, many women don't want to be 30 because of what?
The fear of getting older and decreasing
because
value.
It drops their value. So that. So I don't understand why you're sitting here making a counter argument to something that, whether you experience it or not, it exists.
I guess I'm just looking at, I guess there are exceptions and there's smaller.
So what? I mean, as an intelligent woman, why does that make a difference? There are exceptions. There's 7 billion people. There are always going to be exceptions. Why do you ladies do that instead of just saying it is what it is? Instead of looking for the one needle in the haystack to make it honestly sounds like you're trying to make yourself sleep better. Or give women a pass.
I'm speaking because I see a lot of issues that my friends have. And I think sometimes like listening to you could be helpful. But, I have friends aging from 20 to 50. And I've had my child. I have my partner. So it's just, when it comes to, I wanted to be with a Black man. I don't know if this is an issue with Black women and Black men, but I found that it was, my man is Black.
Okay. Hold on. You're rambling on. At the end of the day, man, is it that you feel bad for your friends?
Somewhat, I do. I want them to do better.
Okay, well, here's the thing. That ain't your problem. They should want to do better, because just like they have their standards for men, men have their standards for women. It's not as though men don't want relationships. That was a lie that got pushed the longest. 51% of Black men are single and childless, and 64% are in the middle class. So we've debunked that myth that Black men are gay down low or in prison. They're out here in the middle class and working, wanting relationships and marriage. The problem is they can't find women who are fit for marriage.
I can agree that that's really declined in general. So I can agree with that. I just need to, I guess, take care of myself. I was just kind of, I guess, putting in that voice for them, trying to see some kind of light.
What did I say? I did a broadcast about this last week. I said that, you married women, you need to cut off your single friends because I think it was Friday, wasn't it, guys? Where I said, and you had all these women who were engaged and married coming in trying to drag their friends. What video was that? When women were trying to drag their friends into their marriages. I'm like, if you don't take your win and go on, your friends got to choose what they chose. Yep, that's right. It was. Pretty women need to cut their pretty women need to cut their friends loose. Friday of last week. So you're hearing what I'm saying, but ma'am, you cannot honestly tell me that you believe a woman who is a metaphysical 10 at 20, she's still a 10 at 30 and at 40 and at 50.
Yeah, I agree. I just, everyone can't, everyone doesn't fit in that group, but, this is not, we're not about we're talking about the mass majority here. We're not talking about,
but nobody, okay, everybody doesn't, that's one of the things we've done, trying to fit everybody in. There are winners and losers. The thing is, your friends who are unmarried,
mm-hmm.
and let me ask you, are they
mm-hmm.
dress size 6 or less and in shape?
My two friends that I'm really concerned about, they're both shapely.
They dress? No. How tall are?
One of them is 5'11", and she's about a size 5. And the other one, she's, I want to say like maybe a 5'3", 5'4", maybe 120 pounds. But I do see their similarities. And I think their problem is they're kind of aggressive. And I try to talk to them about that.
Wait, see, the thing is, ma'am, honestly, I'm just, you're engaged, right?
Yes, I'm recently engaged.
Yeah, what, do you have a boy or a girl for your child?
Oh, my son is 16. He's a boy.
Okay, please take your fiance and run away from these women. Because I hope your fiance is listening. Take your wife and go. I get so tired of you women trying to save broken women. They ain't asking for you to fix them. Let them go to therapy. But here's the thing. You guys will break your own relationships trying to save people who ain't asked your help.
I agree.
All right. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Run away with your man. Run away. Run away.
And that's the end of the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I honestly saved a lot of what would have been my closing thoughts for kind of the middle. I just went a bit of a tangent there, mostly just from spitting facts, I think. But to kind of close everything off, I mean, this is one of those situations where it wasn't anything that was too insane. This woman was pretty reasonable. I would say that she wasn't perfect, but definitely pretty reasonable. But the biggest thing I was harping on and still going to harp on is this whole idea of just doing whatever. That's what it boils down to. It's just like women just think they can do whatever, have whatever, and just say things, and it just becomes real. Like, no, of course my value won't drop as I age. No, I get better with age. I get better with experience. Yeah, okay. Yeah, like ask any man who values a woman. Like, ask him if they value a woman's experience, especially when it comes to like skills in the bedroom. When it's a serious prospect for marriage, sure. When it's a fun girl, whatever. But ask any man on the face of the earth if he values that a woman can do cartwheels on it. It's gonna tell you, no, I probably don't want my wife to be capable of doing cartwheels on it, because that would make me question where she's been learning how to do cartwheels on it. It's like this. It's just delusion. It's delusion land. Just say whatever, do whatever. There's no consequence. There's no one saying like no to it. That's why so many women despise Kevin, when he was alive, rest in peace, because he told the truth. He just said what it was. He didn't capitulate to them. He didn't say, okay, fine, you win because you raised your voice, or because you called me gay, or because you did this, blah, 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 you used some sort of sign language. No, he just told them what the reality was, and they didn't want to hear it because they had to put a mirror up and say, wow, I am obese. wow, I am old. Wow, I probably shouldn't be trying to have kids at 47 years old or 52 years old or 68, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, they had someone who was actually telling them no for the first time in their lives. And some of these women, for the first time in decades, they've had dudes who capitulate because they were too afraid. And now we're in the product of it. But look, guys, leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'll catch you in the next video.